My name is Akiza James, and my mother died when I was 14 years old.
A mother's love is one that can never be replaced. Here is Akiza James with her story.
So tell me, who is Akiza James?
Well, I am a person, I'm very fun-loving, I'm kind, I love to smile. It helps me, smiling a lot, so I like doing it. I like taking care of people. It's something I have deep in that I like to do. What else can I say? And I believe in God a lot because He helps me through a lot of things that I've been through in my life. So that's one of my things I believe the most about, trusting God and have God as one of your first priorities in life. So that sums up it about me.
Describe yourself using 3 words.
I would say inspiring, strong, and self-resilient.
Wonderful. How did your mom die?
Well, it started a morning. Well, I could remember, I think it was a Sunday morning actually. Well, I never used to stay at home before because there was this old lady in our community that I used to stay by, right? Because she couldn't see and she had problems and her children used to stay in England. So my mom asked me if I would like to stay with her. I agreed and I went to stay with the lady. But that Sunday I could remember pretty clearly. When I woke up, I did my normal routine. I eat, relaxed, and then probably around 10 o'clock, my cell phone rang. It was my uncle's wife. And she was like, Kiza, come now. Your mother's sick. She's very, very sick. You need to come now. And I was like, what? And she's like, yes, your mother is very sick. You need to come now. So I left. I dropped everything. I told her mother I need to go home and everything. But she doesn't stay far from where we lived, right? So I left. I literally ran down the road to where I live. When I got there, my mom was on the bed, gasping for breath. And my father was in the room, my aunt was in the room. I had other brothers and sisters, which is younger than me. They were always also there, crying and bawling and screaming. My father was even trying to pray for her and stuff like that. And he was like, that wouldn't work, let's take her to the hospital, let's get her to the hospital. And while all this was going on, she was like, where is Kiza? Kiza reach home, where is Kiza? So I said, yes, mommy, look at me here and stuff like that. She was like, I love you, don't worry about anything. Take care of your sister and there, be a good girl. And that was the last thing she ever said to me. We didn't even get an ambulance to come and bring her to the hospital. We got some guy that was staying higher up from us who was just passing in the road. And he offered to take her to the hospital. My dad and this other lady that was a neighbor to us, she also went. She was one of my mom's friends. She also went in the hospital. And me and my brother, we took a bus to go to the hospital later on. When we got there, my mom was in the room and stuff like that. Doctors was working on her and stuff like that. They was like, oh, she have a problem breathing and all this kinds of stuff. Right? Well, I left. He was outside waiting and stuff like that. Then my brother and my father went in to see her. So while they went in to see her, I was talking to my uncle's wife that came after we left. And we was outside talking and she was like, Kiza, I hope your mother doesn't die, because your mother died pretty young and your mother went through the same scenario. So I hope that she doesn't die and I have to go through the same thing again. And I was like, oh God, don't even say that. I don't even want to hear. And as she was talking about that, I heard somebody bawling coming out. When the person bawling came out, I went to see that person and it was my brother. And I'm like, what happened to you? What happened to you? What happened to you? And he didn't say anything to me, he just watched me like, what happened to you? And then he just said, Akiza, mommy dead. I said, what? Mommy dead? He said, yes, mommy dead. I'm like, what? I couldn't believe that my mother died and I'm 14.
Mm-hmm.
It was so devastating to get that news. It was so horrible. It was so hard. I'm like 14, I'm still in childhood. I'm like, Lord, there's no one to go home to. I'm going to go to school, I'm going to do everything, take this bus and go back home, and there's no one. Literally, that's how I felt. When he told me that, I literally fell down the ground, started to bawl in the hospital room. I even fainted. All sorts of things happened to me. It's really hard to lose your mother and somebody we did. Your mother is like, I can't even explain it because words cannot explain what your mother could give to you.
So you mentioned that your mother passed when you were 14 years old, right? And basically she died by an illness. She was sick.
Yes.
What can you remember the most about your mother? How would you describe your mother?
Well, what I could remember the most is the same thing I like to do, smile a lot.
Smile.
And she was very, very funny. And she wouldn't even make anything bother her.
Alright.
Like, sometimes, well, she and my dad will have problems or whatever. And this woman will be there singing gospel. I'm like, what's wrong with this lady singing this gospel? And that's what she would be doing. And I used to be shocked at that. So I think one of the things, seeing her do that, is no matter the situation, she prays God and obeys herself.
Right.
It's the best thing to do. And smile no matter what it takes. Just smile.
Well, my next question I had here was, how did you feel when you found out your mom died? Which you already answered that basically. But can you tell me what was going through your mind watching your mother in that sick bed or on the bed basically, and then to the point where she ended up reaching to the hospital? Can you tell me what was going through a 14-year-old mind at that time?
Well, I'm really glad that you asked me that again. All that was going through my mind is the responsibility. Because actually, I came out of a family of 8. I'm the 6th child. My mother and father, well, with me, I have 2 sisters and a brother. And they're younger than me. And I was the eldest child home. So knowing that she passed away was the responsibility. I'm like, oh my God. I'm just 14, I have to become a mother, I have to do all these things, take care of these children, send them to school. How am I going to do this?
Right.
I'm only 14. Why did this woman have to die so young? Why she had to leave me with all this responsibility? There was doubt, there was questions, there was a feeling of hopelessness, there was a lot
going through your mind at that time.
Mm-hmm.
What went through your mind when you saw your mom in the casket? What were you feeling in that moment? That's a funeral day. You already felt a type of different mixed feelings when you found out she died. But what about that last day when you had to actually let her go? And maybe it might have been hard for you. How did you manage? What did you do?
Actually, I was just numb.
You were numb. Okay.
Just going through everything like, it is what it is. Just go through the flow. What can you do?
Alright.
The best thing you could do is accept. You can't kill yourself.
Okay. So you accepted the fact that she died?
I just took it and I was like, God can give me what I cannot. Yes. Might as well. Just try and figure it out.
Okay. And what would you say was the worst thing growing up without a mother?
The worst thing I would say is, that's if you have a good mother. I would say it's guidance. Because when you're that young, life, temptation, the world, they throw a lot at you. And friends, wow, that's another one you have to deal with. And even though you have responsibility, because you're young, your mind is not even mature, you're not at a level to think in a certain way or do certain things. You're at a point where you're just dependent. And you need your mother to fill that gap to give you that guidance.
Right.
And I didn't have that, so actually, friends, I used to party just to free my mind because I had all this burden on my chest. So it was like, gosh, I need someone to free myself other than just being there. And with my brothers and sisters, I always used to hide my pain because I was like, they're too young to be exposed to me being weak. Because I always used to hide my pain and just turn to something else to just shift that problem to my siblings.
Okay, so going through all that phase and stuff, what was it like financially for you growing up? Now you have to take up the responsibility of being a mother to your siblings, since you were the older one at the time. What was it like for you in that way?
Financially, it was tough. But because my mother grew me up the way she did, probably like to go to church and all these kinds of stuff. I was even baptized, I should say. That kind of helped me. Financially, it was tough for my sisters sometimes. Well, my sisters and my brothers. Sometimes I will have to forsake myself and give it to them. Like, literally not eat for a whole day and give them the food. And it was difficult. Even school. I never went to school since I was in Form 4. Right up to Form 5. All I knew I had boom, 60 exams. I just pay for it and sit at home and read my textbooks. And that's all I did because there's nothing else I could do financially for them. Uncle and them used to say yes, family used to say yes, but nothing came. They just used to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to have a best friend. He used to help me out. He wasn't my boyfriend or anything like that. We was just close, and he used to help me out. He used to be supportive and help me through the times. So that's something I should say I'm thankful for, that somebody was there. My sister also, my bigger sister to me that lives in Grenada as well. I have to say thanks to her. She put her foot forward in helping us. But it was very difficult times.
Right. Okay, so you did not go to school, you did not attend high school, but you attended primary school?
No, actually I attended secondary school. But what happened, my mother died when I was in Form 4,
Okay.
going into Form 5. And while that happened, it just affected everything. So I have my siblings and everything, so that affected everything. I was really hard financially,
So you quit school, basically?
Well, yes, basically, until I had my exams. Because I was in Form 4 to go into Form 5. It was like the last session of Form 4 to go into Form 5. So that's what happened pretty much.
Okay, but you end up doing your CXCs and you did
Yes.
great on your CXCs,
Yes,
right?
I did.
How would you explain the word grief in your own words?
That's a very tough one. Grief is something, it's a lot of words. It's something I don't think somebody can explain because everybody have different feelings. So I don't think grief is something to explain, but I know grief is linked to something you lost, something you love, and it hurts. Just like love hurts. It's like you're vulnerable, and that thing just keeps you there to remain vulnerable and eats you inside. To me, that's what grief is, but I wouldn't put an emotion or a word to it.
How does grief affect you as a person?
I think it affects me because I tend to just swallow up everything and not say anything and try to have everything in control.
Okay.
But I pretty much can't. I try to be conservative in all my problems, not to talk much or say anything to anybody. Or just lock myself or isolate myself and not say anything. So that's how it affects me. It affects me in the way of me being silent.
Right. But you do know that sometimes you need to talk about things, to let things go instead of holding on to things, because I feel like, yes, You may not have a lot of people that you could trust out there, but it also has to be with you as a person, letting go of what is hurting you so that you could heal as well. You know that, right?
And that is so true what you have said. I'm even making a step forward to even doing this. I never thought I would have done it, not by a long shot. But life has to go on. There's things you have to accept, and it's good to break the silence.
Right, it's good to break the silence. What do you wish people understood about how you feel? It could have been maybe then or even now.
I think what they needed to understand is that I needed support. I got it, but not to the way I expected it should be.
Right.
People tend to like shift themselves and be, I'm not taking part in this, that is none of my business, yes. Yeah, but I am living my life and you live your life. They never have this extra feeling to bring forth to somebody else, or this comfort or this support. And I think that's what was lacking. And I did not get that, and I think that is what I need people to understand. That when people is going through problems and trials, you don't laugh, you don't take it and make it a joke. You don't know what is happening to that person, you don't know what is going through their heads or their minds. The best thing you should do is be supportive. And I think that is the best thing anybody could do to anybody. And when somebody is going through their hardest moment in life and you're that one person in their life to give them that support, you're like $1 million.
Right.
I'm telling you, even worth more than diamond and gold. Because it's like you gave them something that people lack to give, or anybody else took the time to give them. So showing people support in their hardest moment, no matter what, is the greatest thing you could do for somebody. And that is what I wanted people to understand, and that is what I think I needed in terms of that.
Okay, wonderful. What was it like after the death of your mom? I know we touched a little bit on each, but could you go in details when it comes down to like school, family responsibilities? Were you depressed? Were you blocking people out of your life? You know, what was it like after she died? Everything that you went through after she died. You know, knowing that you don't have the love of a mother anymore, and there's no love that's greater or better than a mother's love.
Okay, well, it shifted a lot for me. This didn't only affect me family-wise. It affected my younger sister, my younger brother, and I think it affected everybody else who experienced it within my family. But I guess me and my siblings at home with my dad, we experienced it the most. And one of the things that happened is that my father had got a mental illness because of my mother being passed away, right? So when my mother died, I had 14 years. On top of that, probably like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month after, my father had a mental illness. He was crazy in local terms, right?
Okay.
And that was difficult.
So he got crazy.
Yes.
Because of your mother's death. It wasn't like a condition that he had for himself. It's just that the death made him get into a state of...
Right. And it was very, very, very difficult.
Okay.
To deal with both things at the same time, it was very, very difficult. Having to deal with somebody with a mental illness and your mother dying at 14. All this was compressed on me. It was a burden. It was a lot. It was a heavy, heavy, heavy load. And my sisters and brothers would come and ask me, oh, Akiza, I miss mommy, I miss daddy. And I would be like, it's okay, it's fine. Why are you crying? Let's come here, let's do the thing. And after I do that, I would just go in my bedroom and lock up and cry. Because I don't want to see them weaker. It's their only hope, so you just have to be cheerful to them.
So basically, you had to be the strong one in the family.
Right. In terms of school, well, I only got to finish my secondary school education, right? I didn't get to go to college. But one day I woke up and I just applied to UE. Well, I didn't even thought I would have got through. I was like, let me just do this thing out of the blue. And apparently, yes, I got accepted.
That's wonderful.
And I started to pursue a bachelor in early childhood education. And hopefully it is my goal, it is my aim that I finish this.
Okay.
That is one of my dreams, and I think I need to do it. I wouldn't be satisfied not completing that, so that is something I have to do.
Okay. Mm-hmm. When it comes down to you being depressed, have you ever had moments when you were depressed and you stuck yourself in this box and I know not let anyone in? Did you ever have a...
Yes, I did enough time. And usually I do that. Sometimes I have something in, or who it might be, or if I have something with somebody, I might not say anything, but I'll keep it to myself. And then I will deal with it later when I'm locked in this room with the four corners and thoughts start going through your mind. I do feel depressed. I feel doubts, I feel guilt, I feel shame, I feel all these things start crashing on me. There was one time, I don't even know why I even do this. I just felt like I wanted to feel pain. I just felt the urge to just feel pain, like physical pain. And I sat there and I just started to cut myself because I wanted to feel pain. I don't know why. It just, I don't know, it just a feeling, and I just wanted to feel pain. And I didn't even feel anything. It was just like nothing. But it felt, I know this is this might be crazy, but it's like it felt good. Honestly.
Yeah. So after you cutting yourself, yes, it felt good because I guess when you cut yourself, it's like, this is moments I just want to feel pain and stuff like that. I have also went through that, especially when it comes down to my tattoos and stuff. It's like I was going through a state of depression where I felt like I just needed to be free, basically, and just not really care about anything and just take the pain and, But after all that, after you've cut yourself and stuff like that, how did you feel? What was the feeling after? Yes, you felt it you did what you gotta do for that moment. But after all of that, how did you feel?
After the moment ended, that yes, it felt good. It was like, what am I doing to myself? It was like, what was I doing to myself?
Right.
Is it worth it? Are you going to do this and leave these children behind to suffer? Who's going to take care of them? Their mother dead, their father is mentally ill, which is crazy, out of his mind. Like, you're the only one, and that is what God gave to you, so you have to get up and do something about it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it sitting there and just being in denial and trying to say, oh, why? I want her to come back. I want this, I want that.
Right.
Your present situation, you just deal with it because that is what is there at the moment. You deal with it and try to overcome it. And overcoming doesn't happen overnight, but you will get past at least an obstacle or get a little strength from inside because you did something. You just didn't sit there and just say, let me just take it.
Okay.